Why forgiveness is necessary. The words judgment and criticism might seem similar at first glance. According to the dictionary, judgment means forming one's thoughts about something by considering all the circumstances. On the other hand, criticism means evaluating and determining what is right and wrong. The Bible tells us to refrain from criticism and not to judge, but in some passages, it also calls us to make judgments. In our faith journey, we often encounter confusion within the church due to differing views on judgment and criticism. Regardless of how we use these terms, in any community, conflicts and differences in opinion inevitably lead to criticism and judgment. When this becomes excessive, it progresses from simple criticism, which distinguishes right from wrong, to outright condemnation of others. People then evaluate others based on their own standards and criticize them harshly if they do not conform. This is akin to the saying, "the pot calling the kettle black." It's absurd for a soldier who fled 50 paces in a battle to call another soldier who fled 100 paces a coward. Similarly, our debates, criticisms, and judgments may appear trivial from God's perspective. Despite this, we cannot completely avoid criticism and judgment because we are inherently opinionated and have our own perspectives. Stopping judgment and criticism entirely would halt our growth, as it is impossible to cease thinking altogether. Therefore, we must learn to use judgment and criticism positively within the church. Many people use criticism and judgment to point out others' faults. However, such criticism or judgment often equates to condemnation. We all make mistakes and commit wrongs, so if we only criticize and label others as fundamentally flawed, we can expect to receive the same treatment when we err. Therefore, our judgments and criticisms should not be for the sake of condemnation, but for the purpose of resolving issues. Criticism should focus on what went wrong, not on who did wrong. The goal should be to correct the mistake, not to discard the person who made it. Of course, this does not mean we should tolerate intentional sins or deliberate mistakes. In such cases, we must be firm. In environments dominated by harsh judgments and criticisms, even minor mistakes are often neither tolerated nor understood. Therefore, our value system becomes crucial when we encounter such wrongful actions. Within the church community, when we face many issues where we clash with others, addressing those issues from a problem-solving perspective, rather than from a standpoint of blame and criticism, will foster a more forgiving and constructive environment. Reflecting on the forgiveness Christ extended to us through his sacrifice can help us be more generous in forgiving those who wrong us and guide them towards the right path.
구독, 좋아요, 알림 설정 해주세요. Subscribe, like, set notifications.